Yo, what's going on, everyone? I am making this video, commentary on my own video, I guess to give more insight. And then we'll get to it in a second, but there's two people who commented who I want to kind of address what they're saying, or what they said. I'm sorry, but for the most part, we're gonna start this from the beginning, and anytime I pause, I'm gonna try to give like a little bit more insight, more ideas, or explanation on what I'm saying and why I'm saying it, or whatever the case is. But let's do it.
What up, 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 So, yeah, I know, the seatbelt. So, Roddy Ricch, for whoever knows who he is, super dope artist. My man can make a melody out of fucking pots and pans.
I don't know why I said that. It makes no fucking sense. But what I meant to say was he can make a melody out of it when he's on any beat. But that's irrelevant.
If he wanted to. It's crazy to see how versatile this artist is, but it also, I also look into where they're at in their career, and he just came out with a song called "The Box," all right, which is like it's a fucking challenge on TikTok. It might even be a challenge on Instagram. I'm not 100%, but regardless, it's blowing the fuck up. Like you can't scroll through TikTok and not at least hear it one time. No bullshit.
And I'm pretty sure it's #1 on Billboard or Spotify list or something. I can't remember, but it's like the most streamed song, and then "Yummy" by Justin Bieber is right behind it. I'll explain a little bit more once.
It's that big right now, and it's a tight ass song. Don't get me wrong. Joint cranks. Like I be cranking the shit out that joint. Like no bullshit. But then I took a little bit more of a look at the picture that I guess on his YouTube that he made. It's like a little animated picture, while the audio's playing. All right, and if you look at it, I mean, y'all can go look at it too. Look up Roddy Ricch, The Box. There's a picture of him, staring at the camera, but he's got like this mean face on him. But you can see the whole time is if you're looking at me, he has this eye covered, and then this eye you can see. All right. And it's not covered by his hand or anything like that. It's just the shadow. They made it so they put a shadow over this part of his face. Like if I don't know. I can't do it right now because
It's pretty much almost doing it to me right now. Like you can see how the saturation of darkness is kind of over my eye, but I was just trying to give an example.
Much light, but one of my recent videos, I remember when I was outside on my porch, I was watching it back over again. When I was talking about Juice WRLD and shit, you could see how they can take the contrast and block out like half your face. Well, every time that they do that, there's a reason for it. Because, I mean, you gotta think. Sit back and really think about why would Roddy Ricch be like, yo, when you make this picture, like contrast, like so you can only see, one of my eyeballs, it'll look tight, man, it'll look tight. Like it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? But there's always a reason behind this shit. Why either they're going like this or they're going like that. And I mean, there's many other things, sometimes.
And what I'm gonna explain is when they do that, when they cover the one eye, it represents Baphomet. Here, let me show you an example. small my screen. Like, for instance, this. Everybody here, they're throwing up the same exact sign. And whether it be on the left or right eye, it really doesn't matter. But that's what I'm trying to point out. And yeah, he's not doing it with his hand, but he doesn't have to do it with his hand. As long as it's portrayed, it's portrayed. And it and in his instance, it's because of the contrast of the animated photo, so to speak. And that, I mean, there's hundreds of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, Kesha, Marilyn Manson, you know, the Adam and Eve with the apple. You know, Eminem is throwing it up, and I'm not sure who that is on the other side, but I mean, it's tons of people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're all a part of it, and they're all wealthy. Well, I guess middle class wealthy people, because they sold out for a certain agenda to keep an agenda going. And I think I've already showed that, but I don't know, for the most part, like, you know, and see how they have the eye patches. They're not necessarily holding up their hands, but they have an eye patch on, you know. And a lot of times too, they wear a patch because they've just been I guess hosted with a parasite. And long story short, these reptilian lizard things have a like an antenna that has all their life force DNA in it, and it goes into the corner of your eye, to the back of your eye, to your optic nerve, and it wraps around it, and then it secretes whatever DNA, whatever you want to call it, its life force, physical, you know, liquid, whatever. And once it enters your brain, it takes over your brain. It pushes your soul out, and you are a host of a parasite. And this thing takes a couple, maybe weeks or months to get acquainted with your body, just like you know, any other thing. Like, if you know, you get a new bike, you got to get acquainted with it. But it learns your mannerisms, it learns your emotions, it learns everything that it needs to continue to look like you and act like you and be you, essentially. But this is how these reptoid beings are, from what I understand, this is how they're joining or being allowed to come here in the physical, you know, is by inhabiting a physical body. Because apparently these things, now I think they are physical, but they're non-physical too, from what I've heard. When you see them in your dreams, it's I don't know, it's like, it's abstract, of course, because your dreams are always abstract. But either way, it's the Baphomet. That's what they're talking about, or Vril. But let's go back. Damn it.
Sometimes they'll go like this. Just depends on who you're with, or whatever symbols that society's throwing up, the little secret society or whatever. I mean, essentially it all means the same shit, but they're just all broken up into sects, into little sectors. So it makes it harder for people to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost doing it right now. Like, if I pull, like, either way, whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, so it's obvious that he sold his soul. He sold out, or he's a part of the system, the hive mind, whatever the case is. And I keep trying to tell these people, I keep trying to tell everybody, you cannot become a famous artist, a famous actor, a famous anything, even if it's a fucking famous cook where you get your own TV show, without selling your soul, without signing a blood contract, whatever you want to call it. It's impossible.
And I say this because they own everything. And I know people, when I say that, people just don't get it. They're like, okay, well, it's a big world. Like, what do you mean? Like, you can get there by, networking and blood, sweat, and tears, or whatever the case is. Yeah, you'll do that and organically climb, whatever. And whether you're seen at an early stage or a later stage, it really doesn't matter. But doors are going to be open for you because they can very well be closed on you. All right? If they don't want you to do something, they're not going to let you do anything. And you got to think that, they are going to see you because you're putting yourself in the public's eye, let alone have millions of followers. You think that one of those people or 1,000 of those people aren't, some type of alphabet agency or otherworldly being that is watching you right now? Like, if you don't think that, then you're tripping. You're seriously tripping. But, fuck. These, I've lost track of where I was at. But with the music, this was in the 70s, 80s, where you couldn't have a record deal, be on TV, have a song on the radio, be a wealthy celebrity or a famous celebrity without being an initiated witch or warlock, depending on if you're male or female. So, and that was back then. I mean, and it's what year are we in? 2020? Yeah. I'm sure they've perfected that, better than what it was before, or enforce it that much more. And when a famous person like Wiz Khalifa or Celine Dion or Taylor Swift, T.I., Gucci Mane, anybody, Avril Lavigne, I'm trying to think of any, Justin Bieber, Shawn Mendes, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Like the ones that are like super popular have millions and millions of dollars, millions upon millions of followers, they're in billions of views. Like some of these pop songs have billions of views. It's crazy to me. Like, you rarely see a B on there, and when you do, man, it's some serious shit. Good God. But those type of celebrities have given an oath to be where they're at. They signed a contract, just like Juice WRLD, all right? In Juice WRLD's contract, and I don't know this 100%, I'm just going off of what I've read and what I understand. So don't quote me, but go do your research. That's all I can say. It was under Juice WRLD's contract, or in his contract, that he was going to blow the fuck up, all right? Make millions of dollars, gain a huge following, a mass following, and he was going to die an early death of an overdose. And everyone's probably like, well, how the fuck do you know that? Like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I don't believe that for a second. Well, somebody explained to me why from the get-go until he died, was he rapping about how he was going to die early, he was going to die young, he was going to overdose and, you know, not make it past 21 or make it to 21, whatever he said. It every song he's throwing hints out there, but what he's doing is he's setting it up for the future. Because I mean, just think about it, man. If I talk about how I'm going to die, you know, when I'm whatever age, and I make music talking about it and keep talking about it, and then all of a sudden magically it just happens exactly the way I was saying it, like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what kind of world you live in, but nobody around here is predicting their death. And I'm not saying not everyone. I'm sure somebody's got the power out there to see forward, or, you know, read minds, or, you know, read your future or whatever. You know, I do believe that there are people out there like that, but it's not a coincidence. All right, it's definitely not a coincidence. It was on purpose. And then you got to think of this too, is that when he died, all them young ass kids and people my age, but more so young kids, because that's who he influenced. I mean, just imagine what type of revenue my man came out with after, you know, after he died, and, you know, all his shit sold out, all his CDs sold out, like, all his streams went fucking quadruple, his YouTube's, you know, views went quadruple, you know, everything, you know, tripled up, quadrupled up. Same thing that happened to Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson's doctor, he's a fucking doctor, and it's all of a sudden he just, you know, give him too much drugs to fucking put him. Now, is it possible? Yeah, I'm sure it's possible. But you're a doctor, you're Michael Jackson, you're getting paid the big bucks to do the right thing. And not saying that there was anything crooked involved with that, but I'm not getting into that shit. But whatever. You don't, I don't know. You just don't fuck up and give someone a lethal dose when you're administering it and you're a fucking doctor at your job. I don't know. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But these are these people's contracts, man. Like this is how they get down, you know, not to mention the sacrificing and you know, signing in blood, you know, making that blood pact, saying that you're going to be an entertainer for the rest of your life. And then that ties in with human cloning, which once your first physical body dies, they just clone your ass and you hop into the next one and you just keep on going. And that's why it's like torture, because you never get to stop. You know, I truly believe that. Whether, you know, they clone you and use the other, not real you, and keep it going in the industry or whatever. You know, it's just, there's a million ways it can happen. I don't know, because I don't know for a fact, because I've never seen it firsthand, at least not to my knowledge that I can remember. I have been told that I've been seen at the cloning centers. You know, whether that be true, I wouldn't see why he would lie about that. But at the same time, do I have any recollection? I've had a dream or two about it, but, you know, was it really what I think it was? I don't know. I don't know at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing definitive that stated, you're here, motherfucker. But that's what it ties into. You know, it's all a big game, man. It's all a big game. But let me get back to the video.
It's fucking impossible. And the reason why I say that is because they own everything. And I don't understand. People are like, no, you could get it off of hard work. No, the fuck you can't, man. No, you can't. Because you could sit here, like, okay, let's just say, for instance, I don't believe that shit. I make my own clothing line, and I'm selling it locally, and that's all I do is sell it locally, and then eventually, let's just say it gets big, it starts going out of the county, and then it starts going out of the state, and then pretty much let's just say I become a millionaire off this shit, and rappers are wearing it, and hot actors are wearing it, and then regular people are wearing it too. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, once I hit that threshold, whatever threshold it is, because they own the banks, they have access to your bank accounts, like, they own it all. Not to mention they watch us through your cell phone, they watch us through your appliances, your TV, your light bulbs. They can listen through your light bulbs, all types of shit. So they're always going to keep an eye on you. And then not to mention social media. Everyone's got a Facebook, everyone's got an Instagram. Maybe not everyone, but you get what I'm saying. The majority. But I hit that $1 million, and boom, somebody's going to approach me. I'm not sure how it happens, or what they say, or whatever the case is. I don't know. But they approach you, and you get approached, and I don't know if they'll ask you, hey, either sign with us or we're going to kill you, or whatever the case is. You just don't, I don't know because it's never happened to me. And there's no stories out there that explain how it happened either, because a lot of times when the shit happens to people, they either end up dying or they become famous and they don't talk to nobody. They don't want to, they have to take an oath and keep quiet. And the perfect person that I want to speak on is the guy who made LRG clothing. Dude did exactly what he was doing, doing out of...
I'm going to skip this because this is irrelevant. I don't know why I started. I make a good point, but it's irrelevant right now.
Basement. Kind of had that brain. Really started to blow up. He was big, man. He was out of nowhere. He dies. It's a million scenarios. And that's the thing. Money out of your pocket. You want to do it on your own. And then they're like, oh, okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, have fun. And then they destroy you from the inside or from the outside or whatever. Or, he could have signed and he could have been a sacrifice, just like many of these other artists and people out there, I don't know. Anything could have happened, that's what I'm saying. But I would assume that something along those lines happened because he's fucking dead, Look it up. Look up, I don't know what his name is, but and that's why I'm so hesitant with this music shit, man. Like I said before, I know I have the talent, I know I have the drive and the work ethic to get where I need to get, but some days I'll be gung-ho about doing music, the next day I'm like, man, fuck that shit, I'm setting myself up, man, like real shit. But I don't know. That's just how I feel, man. And I know a lot of people will be like, dog, you're tripping, like, you're hindering your own dreams. And, like, I get it. But there's a reason why I feel like that. There's a reason why I'm being held back, or I'm holding myself back. There's a great reason why I'm holding myself back. And it's because I know, once you get all that type of exposure, that's what happens. You're made to join. It's no fucking joke, man. It's no joke at all. And I be trying to tell people this shit.
All right. I just thought of something. I told a bunch of people to go look up John Todd. It's really old shit, but I wanted to explain that a little bit more. Like I said, you can't become a wealthy actor, actress, Hollywoodian, whatever you want to call it, without being an initiated witch or warlock. What happens is, this is what I wanted to explain. I had lost all thought. Is when you sign that deal and you go to make your CD or whatever, or at least this is how it happened back then. All right, I believe it's a lot different now just because of digital era and everything. But back in analog, when records and all the other type of shit. But what they would do is they would make a master copy of your CD, all right? And then once the master copy is, they would take it up to the 13th floor of whatever building they were in, and every record label or record company has this room, all right? They would put it on an altar in the middle of the room, pentagram on the floor, and candles all over the place, whatever, and whatever other symbolism or portal, whatever you want to call it, all around into that room. They would have a, um, I guess the equivalent of a priest or a high religious figure, but in Satanism, and they would have I guess either a couple more of witches or warlocks, whatever. And what would happen is they place it on the altar, and then they conjure up, use the magic spells. And I know this doesn't sound crazy because it sounds like some cartoon shit, but it's just real. All right, don't believe me? Go look it up. And they conjure up demons, or like John Todd said, they conjure up a principality, and then from once the principality is there, then they order that principality um, to have demons follow each copy of that CD or vinyl record or tape, whatever it is. And so just imagine, Ozzy Osbourne or Kiss or Led Zeppelin or whoever, any of the famous ones. Imagine how many demons are out throughout the whole entire world because of those CDs and or records, whatever. Um, and then imagine how many people bought those CDs and how many of those CDs or analogs. I keep calling them analog records are sitting in your house right now. All right, and then just imagine how many demons are in your house right now, just sucking the life force out of you. All right, that's why I say it's the music is addicting, and it's hard to let go, and it's not good for you. It's just, at the end of the day. But they conjure up a principality, then that principality is ordered to put demons in every other copy that exists. All right, and then that's how they get you to rebel. That's how they get you to control your emotions or whatever the case is. And all of the rock stars did it. All the rap stars are involved in it, and there's no way around it. There really isn't. You can watch the shit or listen to the music backwards, and it tells you some type of story. But there was John Todd said that there was an album by Kiss, the Destroyer. I can't remember what it's called. I never listened to them. And they say that the main reason that they made that CD or that album was for the children across the world to rebel against their parents, and that's exactly what happened. And because music, it gets into your soul, man. Like, it ain't no bullshit. I hope this doesn't cut out. But yeah, that's how it goes. Now that everything's digital, I believe it's probably a lot different. But there's something with demons and digital frequency or digital software, hardware, whatever. I feel like those things can travel throughout that frequency or that electricity. I'm not sure how to explain it, and maybe I'm not making any sense. But instead of having to conjure that shit up into a record, digitally, I don't know, just everything seems more connected. Like, I'm not sure how to explain it. Maybe somebody can explain it to me a little bit better, or explain it in the comments a little bit better. I apologize, but I just can't imagine what you have to do now. Sacrifice a child, sacrifice your family member or a friend, sacrifice your whole family. Like, I forgot what her name is. I can't remember what her name is, but something Hudson. I think that's what her last name is. but her whole family died. She sacrificed her whole family to be famous. John Travolta, his son died. Mike Tyson's son died. Um, I don't know. I can't think of any of them right now. But either way, um, that's that's the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no fucking joke. It's not a joke, man. And it's not like some. I just watched this interview with Doggy Diamond. Shout out Doggy Diamonds, and he had this dude on named Inky or Master Inky or I don't know who he was. I never heard of him before. But either way, he made it out to be that selling your soul is just going against your morals and your better judgment, your integrity, your respect you have for yourself. As far as like, a straight man fucking taking it up the ass or having to suck a bunch of meat to get where he needs to get into the industry, regardless of who you are, what you want to do. If you want that $2 million signing bonus, you're gonna do whatever it takes. If you're that desperate. And he just made it out to be that you just go against, your who you are and your better judgment, but it's way deeper than that, man. It's so much more deeper, with magic and energy and frequency and spells and them casting spells on us, just like John Todd said, you can't cast a spell on a Christian, but a Christian can cast a spell on himself. What does that mean? The music is all spells. It's all putting demons into our souls and around us and into this world. And that's how they do it. You know what I'm saying? And now that it's digital, you can just boop, pull it up on your screen like it's nothing, instead of having to go buy the CD or buy the record or whatever the case is. So it's that much more readily available. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can elaborate on, but I think I've hit a lot of what I wanted to hit. And it's just like, Jay-Z throwing up the rock or whatever, that's a look at it. What does it look like? It's like a triangle. It's exactly what it is. He's paying homage to the people who own him, or the people he works for. And that's how it goes, man. And that's with anything. That's with acting, cooking, TV host, I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like professional football player, basketball player, not all of them, all right? I don't believe all of them are, but the ones that are huge and in the Hall of Fame and, the best of the best, like, what's his name? I don't watch any sports, so I don't know anybody's name. I can't. Dude from the Patriots, the quarterback from the Patriots. I cannot believe I don't remember his name, but I don't watch sports, so I won't know his name. Either way, he's sold out. I mean, there's tons of people, man. There's tons of people. O.J. Simpson, and I don't know this for 100% fact. Like I can show you where it says that they sold their soul. Like no, I don't have that. But from what I understand and what I go off of, they had to do what they had to do. And it's all up to you. It's all your choice. But, yeah. Trying to think of anything else before I said, you know what, let me just turn this off. Why am I talking like I'm from the country? Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions or comments or whatever you want to, leave them at the comment section. And y'all have a good day. Y'all have a wonderful night, whichever it is. Please like, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to your boy, because I just talk everyday real shit. You know what I'm saying? And if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, if there's anything that I'm not talking about, and you guys want to hear my opinion, like by all means, message me, comment, leave it there. I don't mind doing that, and that it helps me in return. You know what I mean? Because it gives me better. It just gives me like tentacles to the outside world because I don't really do much. Uh, and I'll make videos. I love making videos now. But holla at your boy. I'll talk to y'all soon.